Welcome to 301 Banter, a show having conversations with the finest athletes across Minnesota. We delve into the trials and tribulations of the athletes, coaches, and broadcasters that make the sports world in Minnesota tick. So whether you're a diehard sports fan or just curious to learn about different people, join us for discussions and behind-the-scenes glimpses into Minnesota's vibrant sports community.
Today on 301 Banter, we're joined by someone who's been raking at every level. From Orono High School here in Minnesota to Division I fields all across the country. After 2 seasons at Xavier, he transferred to Creighton and stepped up his game massively. He's hitting an impressive .280 with 15 home runs and 91 RBIs. He's been a steady force at the plate and a reliable presence in right field. We talk development, transitioning between programs, Minnesota baseball, and what's next for him. Teddy Deters joins 301 Banter right now. Teddy Deters, thank you for joining us here on 301 Banter today.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Charlie.
Yeah, so let's start back at the beginning. What initially drew you to the sport of baseball? I know you grew up in a family that played a lot of sports, but baseball seemed to be the one that stood out the most.
Yeah, well, I'd say I started playing since I was very, very little. I played t-ball, and ever since I started doing that and I started following Major League Baseball, I kind of just fell in love with the game. And as I got older and advanced through the ranks with coach pitch and then got machine pitch and then kid pitch, starting with that, I was always better at baseball than other sports. I played pretty much every other sport growing up as well. I played tennis, hockey, football, but baseball was always a sport that stood out to me. So it's always a sport that I would want to go play in the backyard, whether it's wiffle ball or just playing catch or hot box or something like that. It was always a sport that I liked more than the others. So that's kind of the sport that I ended up training for the most. So that's how I really got good at it, and then it gave me a chance to play in college. So
Yeah, and we'll get to college career in just a moment here, but you played Orono High School baseball. How did that shape you as a player and playing in the Minnesota High School League?
I'd say for baseball, it's tough to be in Minnesota and not be in one of the southern states. You're sort of at a disadvantage because not everyone's playing year-round baseball in Minnesota. Even I wasn't. I would play football in the fall and usually play hockey in the winter. So, and that's a big difference between what you see down south. You got states like Florida and the Carolinas, and everyone in California and Texas are playing baseball year-round, and that's the only sport that they play. So they're a lot more talented-wise. Talented baseball players down there than there are in Minnesota. So it's tougher to find yourself able to play college baseball, playing high school baseball in Minnesota, just because the overall talent isn't as good as it is down south.
Yeah, and I'm sure that's a lot to do with the weather. You know, in Minnesota, you're playing inside for 6 to could be up to 8 months out of the year. You're playing inside. So yeah, that's definitely a setback, and obviously Minnesota is known as the state of hockey. So I'm sure a lot of kids are playing hockey year round here rather than baseball. So do you have any moments from Orono High School that stand out as your favorite memories from playing?
My favorite memories are just playing. It was weird because our junior year got canceled because of COVID, so we kind of got screwed over there. So and then we came back our senior year, and we were pretty good. So my favorite memory from playing in Orno was just um, playing a year of baseball one more time with all the guys that I grew up with playing. I think that was really cool. We had probably like 7 out of our 9 guys on the starting lineup were seniors. So these are guys that I've been playing baseball with for over 10 years, and I get to play with them one last time. I'd say that was a pretty special year for us.
Yeah, for sure. So then you go to college. You start at Xavier, and you play there for a couple seasons, and then you transfer to Creighton, where you are now. What went into the decision to transfer from Xavier to Creighton?
Yeah, so I went to Xavier my freshman year in the spring. About a month into the season, I broke my hand, and that put me out for the year. I got a medical red shirt out of that as well, and then I came back my sophomore year. Um, After the first weekend of the season, I sprained my wrist, and I was out for over a month after that. So I was really just looking after 2 years. I had been there, and I was behind in the depth chart, and I didn't necessarily love it there enough to stay and kind of grind my way back up to where I wanted to be for a full time starting position. So I decided that it'd be best for me and my career to enter the transfer portal. So yeah, that's kind of what went all into that decision there.
Yeah, was it tough having to adjust to the like a new locker room clubhouse in Omaha?
Yeah, it was very tough. So Creighton is in the Big East Conference with Xavier. So we played each other the past 2 years. We're not like fully established as rivals, but when we play each other in that series, it's a rivalry game. It has that type of environment that you don't get in just a normal weekend. So um, it was weird coming in being the guy from the rivalry school, and but they did a great job with me, and they welcomed me in with open arms, and I'm very very thankful for the past couple of years I've had at Creighton, and excited to finish it out with one more.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Now you've now part of it was due to injury, but you've played quite a few more games at Creighton than you did Xavier. Does the coaching staff that sees what you're doing on the practice during practice, and does that, how much of a difference does that make that they are seeing that and rewarding you by playing you day in and day out?
Yeah, it's really nice to be rewarded. Because you work really hard, and it sucks to have to sit the bench and watch everybody else play over you. So it's really nice to finally be rewarded for all your hard work that you've accumulated over the years, and it's just it's a whole different experience being able to be the guy that gets to play every day. It's really a ton of fun.
Yeah, and I'm sure college and beyond college too, like the pros, you still have to fight for your starting spot. You're on the other side of it. You got to fight to keep it versus fight to try to get that starting spot.
Right. Yeah.
So yeah, no, that definitely may not be easier, but it's definitely I'm sure mentally easier to coming in from that standpoint.
Yeah. Yeah. For sure.
Now, like you touched on the Xavier Creighton kind of rivalry and being going, transferring from one side to the other. You were able to hit a grand slam against Xavier for Creighton in that rivalry. What was that moment like as a Blue Jay?
Yeah. It's really cool. It's it's different playing. It's really weird playing against your former team, and you look in that dugout and you see a lot of your former former players and maybe roommates and all the former coaches. So it's just it's a weird type of game to begin with, and then you step in the batter's box, and the guy on the mound, like, you started freshman year with him, and you were really good friends with him, and now you're competing against each other. So, yeah, playing against them is super weird, but being able to beat them is great, and having those big moments is really a ton of fun.
So you've been Creighton's home stadium is the College World Series stadium in Omaha. What's it like playing at that field for regular season games?
It's amazing. I mean, I have it in my routine where I get to the field, and the first thing I do is just go walk out to the field and sit in the dugout and just look around. And every day I'm just mesmerized by it. And it's really incredible that I get to go play there every day. It doesn't really get old. It's still Charles Schwab Field, and it's the home of the College World Series, and I get to do that every day. It's really special. The one thing that I'd say about it is, like, every team that comes in is also mesmerized by it, and it's almost like they try to play their best game while they're at this field. So it could be like a Tuesday midweek game against North Dakota State, and they're bringing like everything they have against us. So every game, it tends to get a little bit closer. So it's really a lot of fun.
Yeah, and you were as a team with Creighton played in the regionals against NDSU and Arkansas, and I believe it was Kansas was the last team in the regional this past year. What's the competition like in those even, like you mentioned, the other teams are bringing their A game for regular season games. To, like, how much does it step up?
Well, it ticks up. It ticks up a good amount. Yeah, we had played, just for reference, we played North Dakota State twice in the year, and then we played them again in a regional, and it was a completely different ball game when we played them again in a regional. It seemed like they were a completely different team, and every game, it's really, postseason baseball is a completely different game of baseball than regular season. Regular season, you have so many games and so much time to get your record where it needs to be, but postseason, it's really, if you lose, this could be the end of the season, and you're just done. So there's really no coming back from it. So the atmosphere is really incredible, and then just being able to go play down at Arkansas and Baum-Walker Stadium, and there's 10,000 Arkansas fans screaming at you. It was really just incredible.
Yeah. No, we had Ryan Bischel on, the former Notre Dame goalie, and he was saying that's what makes college hockey and kind of college sports in general so great is student sections and the passionate fan bases and having a lot of the fans went to that school, so they have a little bit more stake in the game themselves. So what's the Creighton fan base been like in Omaha in your 2 seasons there?
It's a decent fan base for the Big East Conference. We definitely bring the most fans out of anyone else, baseball-wise, that we go to, which is really cool. The one thing is, with the big stadium, we could have 3,000 fans there, maybe 5,000 fans there, and it doesn't feel like anything at all, just because there's so many empty seats still. But I'd say the fan base, it's there. There's a lot of fans and a lot of people who are supporting us for sure.
Yeah. Now, throughout your career, it seems like the one, stat that seemed to stay consistent with you, and I'm sure the Moneyball A's would absolutely love this. It's the being able to get on base. The on base percentage has been steady at a a high percentage. What's your approach at the plate when it comes to getting on base?
I'd say I'm going to just try to get what the pitcher is trying to give me. I'm very disciplined to my approach, and I'll have a plan going in the box, and all I'm trying to do is execute that plan. Um, you know, Division One pitchers, they're very talented. They're all very good, but they will walk you. That's kind of what I figured out at the end of the season. This past year is that they will walk you if I give them the opportunity to do so. So that means if I get to 2 strikes, I'm just going to really just battle, either get the pitch to hit or foul off a good pitch. And if he throws me a ball, I'm going to take it and take my walk. I think I had like 5 walks in a row in our conference tournament. I don't know if that's some sort of record or not, but it got to the point where I was going up to the plate just looking for a walk and just trying to, get on base. And I think that, there's a reason that was a popular thing for the Oakland A's back in the Moneyball era, is because getting on base is very, very beneficial for your team, and it can set up a lot of success and runs.
Yeah, for sure. Just extend it one more batter, at least one more. Extend the inning, at least one more batter, and
exactly. Yeah.
Give the new guy. Now, again, watching baseball games at no matter what level on TV, it seems like every umpire has a different understanding of what the strike zone actually is.
Yep.
When you're playing at the college level, is that as true as it comes across on TV?
Oh, it is. It can be frustrating sometimes. It's frustrating to take a pitch that you thought you saw well, and it was maybe a ball off the corner, and then the umpire will call it a strike. And I mean, there's not much you can do there. It is nice to get into conference play, and then you have more familiar umpires that maybe you've been they've had your games over the past years, and you kind of know what their strike zones look like. So I guess that's maybe a benefit to more experience at this level, is the umpires, and maybe they know you as well, so you kind of can build a relationship, and what their zones look like. But the newer umpires you get, you really have no idea walking up to the plate your first at bat, and it's almost a guessing game at that point.
Yeah, so maybe there's the familiarity there is more of can be some of the explanation of the 5 walks in a row in the conference tournament. Just
for sure, yeah.
So we'll take a question that we had before and apply it to Creighton. What's been your favorite memory at Creighton and playing college baseball?
Hands down would have to be at the end of this season where we won our conference tournament. We got hot at the right time, and there was nobody that could beat us. And then just being able to dogpile at the end there was a very, very special feeling. You put in all that hard work with all your best friends, and then it adds up and pays off into something big. So that was a ton of fun. And then just being able to go play in that regional down in Arkansas was just icing on the cake there.
Yeah, for sure. Now, this is with collegiate athletes. This is one of my favorite questions to ask. How do you balance being like a student athlete with the academic side and the athletic side of it?
It's tough. I would say how I did it was just making a lot of sacrifices, whether that's giving up some time watching football on Sundays because you have to go study, or maybe giving up some time hanging out with friends or playing video games to go do homework or go hit in the cages. If you really want to be successful, getting a high GPA and then being successful on the baseball field, you have to make some sacrifices. You can't try to live out a life that normal college people live. And a lot of freshmen, when they get on campus, they don't really necessarily realize that, and then it's tough for them that first semester. So I would say you just have to make sacrifices and then be really disciplined to your schedule.
Yeah, for sure. So we've got just a couple questions left here. When you and I know it's you have minimum of 1 year left in your hopefully more after that, but you still have at least one more year left in your playing career. When you look back at your career up until this point, who has had the biggest impact on your career?
That's a good question. I would say my dad has. I don't think anybody's watched me play more baseball than my dad. He's been at almost every game of my college career, and there's been a lot of baseball games in my college career. So he's definitely had a huge impact. He's helped me through the ups and the downs and all the in betweens. So I hands down have to say my dad.
Yeah, for sure. And I think the parents too, sitting at those youth baseball tournament, taking up the entire weekend, and
Yes.
and a summer weekend too. There's not that many of those every year. So, and then you have one more year at Creighton. What are your goals after this year? Is it to continue playing baseball or to go into a different direction?
It's really just going to depends on how the season goes. If it goes great and I have a great season and I still love the game of baseball and have high aspirations for what it can lead to, then I'll try to continue playing. But if it's not necessarily all of that, then I think it'd be tough for me to hang up the cleats, but it's something that I could probably end up doing. It's definitely a possibility that I'm well aware of.
Yeah, I'm sure your dad is going to be able to.
It might be tough for him. Yeah, it might be tough.
Yeah. And so the last question here is a question we ask to everybody based off of what sport that they play, and I know you answered it at least a little bit on the balancing being a student athlete part. So I'm going to make you say a different answer for this one. What advice do you have for younger players that are looking to play post high school baseball?
It's a good question. I would say love the game and make sure you love the game before you decide to choose to play in college or professionally, because if you don't truly love the game, then it's just going to be so much harder to make the sacrifice and giving up so many other areas of your life to play baseball. So I would just say make sure you love the game, and then just appreciate and enjoy every day, because it really, really goes by fast. So, and then I'd say one of the biggest things that I've learned to appreciate over my college career was appreciate the memories and the people and all the relationships you build with them. That's very important.
Yeah, for sure. Now, again, that was our last question here. So, thank you for joining us today on 301 Banter, and we'll try to get you on maybe after a fingers crossed Creighton national championship next year.
Absolutely. Thanks, Charlie.
Massive thank you to Teddy for taking the time to sit down with us today. We're rooting for him and look forward to tracking his final season in college and potential baseball career post-Creighton. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. Comment down below who you want to see next on 301 Banter, and we'll see you next time. Peace.